Yo, what's happening? What's happening? We back in here. Hey, them veteran boys here to holler at the people. All right, hey, got my man. Okay, next to me, got my man. We got Balo the Great. What's
That's
happening?
me.
What's happening?
What's going on? How y'all living?
All right. Yeah, I got my man Willis down here. What's happening with you?
What's going on?
All right. Hey, so man, we decided to ambush y'all, man. We popped up live out of nowhere. It's an ambush. All right, so we can come here and we're
Live
gonna kind of
bomb.
we're gonna review the page a little bit. We're gonna talk about some of the stuff we've seen on the page and give our little perspective because the veteran always got something to say about everything. All right. So jump into it, man. So if you're not a member of the Good Guy Experience Facebook page and you're on Facebook, man, go ahead and jump in there. And if you're not subscribe to the YouTube, like I always say, you are wrong. The Good Guy Experience YouTube page. Go ahead and jump on that thing. All right. So this past week, okay, this past week we had some interesting stuff shared in the group. All right, so man, we decided to talk about it, man. We decided to talk about it. All right, so here we go. Here we go. All right, we start off with this right here. All right. Let's see.
Do not want to date a trans woman.
Already starting off, it needs to stop. Yesterday, I posted a TikTok responding to this question: what are the red flags you look for in men? And one of them was if you wouldn't date a trans woman. Red flag. And my comment section? You get the idea. I can't put them all because there's too many. Let me break this down. Trans women are women. So if you're heterosexual and you're a man and you said you wouldn't date a trans woman because it's a preference, that's just transphobia, period. The majority of the time, our preferences are rooted in something problematic. It could be trauma, racism, transphobia, the list goes on. If you want to find out what your problematic preferences are, click the link in my bio and watch this video. I am now going to take you all through an example. This person asked why it's transphobic to not want to date a trans woman. Already starting off on the wrong foot by referring to cis women as regular women, then says something about trans women not being able to carry children. If that's your sole reason for dating someone, keep that same energy for all the women who are infertile.
Okay. All right. So, what y'all think about that?
Anything for likes, right?
Man,
Anything for likes.
yeah.
Like, let me start by saying this. As for all forgive me, I always mess up the letters. But you identify with what you want to identify for. That is your God-given right. But that was not what she's saying. She's trying to dictate my preference being a problem. You know what I mean? Like, if my thought is, and again, if you believe that trans women are women, then why do you put the word trans in front of it? Just call them women. I've always thought that. So again, be who you want to be, but you can't dictate how I feel about something or my preference or whatever. So and I feel like I don't even actually think that's one of them situations. I don't think she feels like she believes what she's saying. She just know that whole clip is gonna get hella views, hella reaction, and that's all she wants. She don't care about the message. So that's that.
Yeah, man. What you think, man? What you think?
So once again, I'm gonna agree with Willis there, saying this is more someone seeking attention based off their own personal opinion. Quite honestly, the way I look at it is, a person preference when it comes to sexual partners is really up to them. It's what you want. Labeling somebody transphobic because they choose not to date or interact with or date or be involved with a trans woman. Come on now, you just doing this because you want to push your own agenda. The bottom line of it is, if that's the case, then you can say back in the day, a black man dating a white woman, you can call that black man a sellout, or a white woman, a a black woman dating a white man, you can call her sellout because she chose to date someone that she likes, but it wasn't the status quo. That's the problem with society right now. We always trying to put people in boxes. Everybody wants to be in their own box. Either you want to be pro-black or pro-white or pro-Latino, pro-Asian, and you can't, those different, races can't interact with each other, especially on a level when it comes to loving one another. I'm a believer. I'm an R&B man to the heart. With that being said, love is blind. So love don't give a damn if you're black, white, gay, trans. Don't care. You love who you want to love.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Now, my take on it, I don't know. So, I like my born women. If you got a penis, I don't want no part of that. I ain't trying to get poked in the eye. You know what I'm saying? Now, but I got love for trans people. I'll hire you. I want you to have all the rights that you can have. I want you to, be happy, be free. I'm just not the person to clap your cheeks. You got to find somebody else for that. That's not my preference, and I don't think that's that a person is wrong for that. Everybody's got their little preference. Some people like short, people. Some people like people with big butts. People like people with small butts. I like people born women. I don't think that's
and you're entitled to have that opinion.
Yeah.
No one should be mad at you or upset at you for having that opinion.
Yeah.
That's just it. You are afforded that right to have that opinion, right?
Yeah, man. So
that's just it.
So I just think sometimes with with that movement, like all movements, sometimes things, start off really genuine and it's all good. And sometimes people go a little bit too far. I think that's where we're
way left.
Apart. So, I'm all for rights. I'm all for equal treatment. That's a little bit going too far, But that's the thing with movements, man. People start getting hyped and start going too far with it. And sometimes you got to reel that thing on back in because I don't know about that one. Okay. All right. So we kind of seem to be in agreement there. Okay. About the trans situation. All right. So what's the next thing we've seen up here? All right. Oh boy. All right. So we had. All right, so Candace Owens popped up again. Okay, so she was talking about feminism leading to male absence, and we said we'd holler at her, see what she's talking about here. All right,
absence. It encourages it because it's become toxic. They use terms like toxic masculinity, right? And I say to myself, all of their examples, the idea of what it means to be a man now is toxic. They think, oh, this is a man. Masculinity is wrong. There's something inherently wrong with being a masculine man. And to me, I always say that it was toxic masculinity that saved me. I had a healthy fear of my grandfather. Nobody played around with my grandfather. We still don't play around with my grandfather, and it's just, there's a certain level of respect when you're in his home. There are rules. And because I had that healthy fear, I was, I guess, more responsive to that sort of authority when I had to go out in real life. I believed in structure. And yet this version of feminism today, we have women that are basically promoting men should act like women, right? And women should act like men. There's all of this confusion. You can pick your gender, you can do what you want. And ultimately what I think it's doing is feeding into this idea of a breakdown of the family. Modern feminism encourages male absence.
Okay. All right, so that's all of it. All right, so man. So what y'all think about that one?
Before I answer, can you break down what she's saying? Modern feminism, meaning like it's bad. Is feminine? What is? I guess the term like what is feminism in the most genuine and positive sense? That's the one thing I've never understood all these years.
Yeah. So my understanding on it, so feminism, Now, as far as like, I know I had a conversation with some Black women online, and they were saying how feminism originally was like more about white women getting rights, and Black women didn't have the rights that white women were going to get. And then we talk about feminism in terms of what she's talking about is like modern women. This whole conversation about modern women and feminism, and women wanting to take the role of men, in their opinion, like women being masculine like men and men being feminine like women. She's saying there's an agenda there with modern feminism. But that's what I got the take of it. What she's saying, that it's gotten to a certain extreme where they're trying to demasculinize men, or is that even a word? I hope it is. If not,
demasculinization, something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys? Do you guys think that's a thing? I know it's Candace Owens and people, like I said, when I see Candace Owens, I'll be like, oh no.
What I say earlier,
what? Like that, but I think people make points. Even people who say crazy stuff make points sometimes. I'll ask you guys first, man. What do y'all think? What do y'all think?
I mean, so this is the way I look at that whole speech or spiel that Candace that she gave. I have daughters, and I teach my daughters to be independent. My daughter know how to change oil, change brakes, change tires, but that's what that's about. But I also teach my daughters, hey, ain't nothing that you can't do. Right. I mean, I'm not gonna hold them back, and I give them the same game I give my boys. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to be just as enlightened and have as much much knowledge as I can possibly give them. With that being said, do we have a shortage of actually real men? Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Look at our society. A lot of our, especially in our society, Black society, a lot of our men, they were raised by social media, especially younger men. They was raised by social media. It was raised by pop stars or entertainers, whatever you want to put them, and that they're giving them a falsehood of what it is to be a man. See, I mean, once again, I go back to the way I was raised. Now I came into this world in 1977. I've been on this earth for a little bit of time. With that being said, I came into the world. What's the best way to say it? I came into the world of don't ask, don't tell, where it wasn't cool to not be a man.
Okay.
So you had to be a man. But I have adapted over time and seen that I can't hate a person for who they are, but it's not going to keep me from teaching my boys what it is to be a man. Okay. I'm still going to teach that. I'm still going to try to keep that legacy going, that knowledge line going, to say this is what it is to be a man. I'm going to teach them not. I'm also teaching them not to hate. I got a 23-year-old son too, who's out there in this world. You know what I'm saying? This, teaching him, hey, listen, it's cool to be a player now, but that playing days get old when you get played and you get hurt. Now, to add her additional statement about it tearing apart homes. So, a too strong of a woman pushes a weak man away. That's basically what I'm taking out. A strong woman will push a weak man away. You got to be an equal yoke. You got to be the yin to the yang. Right. It's literally a 50-50 deal. Now, that 50-50 deal is a mythical number because at some point in time, it's going to be 70-30. Sometimes it's going to be 60-40, give or take. It's never going to be a true 50-50. It's going to be some kind of variation of that. But you've got to be an equal yoke. You can't get no soft-ass dude with a strong-ass woman because
never gonna work.
I promise you, never going to work. But you can't get no Ike Turner, no abusive-ass strong dude with a passive woman because she eventually that's going to break. She's not going to meet his standards, and he's going to take advantage of that by stepping out and doing what he want to do.
Yeah. What you think, Willis?
I think to piggyback on what he said, it's never going to be even 50-50. It's going to be 70-30. But also, I think people got to realize what works for you works for you.
Right.
What works for somebody else works for somebody else.
Right.
We got to quit comparing our lives and relationships and successes and failures to how somebody else is living at a certain age. Like, that's so long for me. I'm talking about professionally, relationship wise. I was like, you know, you got to, by the time I turn 25, I'm gonna do this. By the time I'm 30, and then I'm like, I didn't hit the milestone. So I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? Bro, it's like I'm like 35 by the time I realize, yo, I'm good. I did what I did. I do what I do. I'm on the path I'm going to be on. You know what I mean? But specifically, as far as, you know, I think all three of us, we're of that generation, like you said, that we understood, like we were raised like be a man. Boys don't cry. Quit being forget the language, being a sissy, whatever like that. We can say stuff was said to us. We said stuff that, hey, you counsel today if you even think that.
It's over, bro. It's over.
But we already know we were raised in such. But as you said, we've adapted, because it's a difference between being a man and handling your business and then hating somebody else because they not like you.
Yeah.
Like, reach one, teach one. If you see, you know, if you think something, talk to the brother. I love when people younger, older, educate me, let me know. Yeah. If I'm messing up, let me know. I have no ego if I know I'm wrong. And that's the thing.
I think it's something we lost, man. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People, the attitudes come out like, you can't tell me nothing, because they know they wrong, but now their ego hurt and bruised, so they got to puff their chest up a little bit. Man, I'm a grown man. You can't tell me nothing. No. You know, so each, you know, reach out to the brother, help him out, talk to him, and at that point, if they don't want to listen, hey.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago you can't save everybody. I think my whole take on this particular thing is, you know, I believe in manhood. I believe, you know, I feel like I'm a manly man. I like, you know, things that are stereotypically manly. But, you know, I don't look down on somebody who's not like me. I think relationship wise, man, like I say, I feel like relationships are like fingerprints, man. Everybody's got a different one, you know. So if you trying to do what I do with mine, you might crash and burn. If I try to do what you do on yours, I think this YouTube sphere and this whole social media sphere has got people kind of jacked up. They try and look at this one formula, you know, and be like this in your relationship, you know. And you know, everybody's kind of different, man. Everybody's different. Toxic masculinity, I think it's a thing, but I do think it gets overplayed sometimes. You know, I think the way men have been has been, you know, in some ways good, some ways not so much. You know, you should never put your hands on a woman. I don't feel like I'm better than a woman. I feel like we complement each other. I do believe in roles, okay? I believe in natural roles, but they're not set in stone, right? Like, so if somebody breaks into my house at night, you know, I'm grabbing the Glock and going and risking my life to see what's happening. I don't expect my wife to do it. That's not to say she can't, you know, but that's not something that's expected, right? You know, everybody's got different roles. If somebody come in your house and you ain't got no food in there, you know, they're gonna look at you. Knowing like they're gonna look at you, they ain't gonna look at you like, damn, why y'all starving? What the hell? Where your husband at? You know, as somebody come in my house and it's nasty as hell, they can be like, oh, who's your wife? You know, that's just kind of naturally how some things look. Now, not to say everything's set in stone. We all clean. We all can do, you know, she can come out and do yard work and all that. But we do got little natural roles, though. I think sometimes we try to pretend that we don't, and that, you know, everybody's exactly the same. We're different, but we complement each other. It comes together like this, though, you know. So that's what I feel like, you know. So I think as long as everybody has their role and fit in a relationship, whatever that is, as long as you get your fit, roll with it. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Okay? For sure.
Be happy, you know. If you try to look at everybody else, you about to be
by yourself.
Might be in court somewhere talking to them.
50 and lonely.
I ain't trying to see them people, man. I ain't trying to go back out on these streets. These streets look crazy.
Don't they?
Yes, sir. So shout out to my wife. I ain't going back in the streets.
No, man, it costs too much, player.
Yeah. I got a good wife. Wait.
I lucked out too. I got a fire wife. I'm lucky.
I try, I try to be a good husband. I do, I try to do what I can do. Let's see it. So we did hit a little basketball. All right. So Gilbert Arenas, my man, Jazz Edwards had this right here. So they were talking about NBA players and how the current players would wash the old players. All right. So before we chime in, let's see what he's talking about.
The prototype number one came into the league, and you didn't know what to do with it, which was Grant Hill. A 2-guard, 3-guard who actually went left to right. We never had a 2-3 that actually crossed that fast. And he was barbecuing. Pippen, Jordan, and Rodman with the fucking crossover. And he couldn't shoot a lick, but he got to the basket like no other. So if you couldn't deal with prototype one, what makes you think you can deal with the 2010, 20 prototype of guard? You can't. The moves that they do now, you've never seen in your life. 80s people think like fouling was defense. I saw what happened.
All right, so what y'all think about that? I hear this debate all the time. So Bailey, what you think, bro?
First of all, when it comes to any type of sports debate that transcends decades, it's really not a debate. It's you can't debate eras.
Right.
In the 80s, it was a very physical brand of basketball. It was big man prevalent. You stayed in the big man, roamed the paint, beat you up in the paint. Guards were facilitators of the game. And you had a few guards out there that were electrifying in the 80s, but when the 90s came around, it became the two guard in the small forward became more prevalent with guys like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Even though Magic was a point. So when I hear this argument of the 90s eras cannot compete with the current NBA players, I kind of laugh at it because I'm gonna turn around and tell you this: if you put the same rules for which they played in the 90s in today's game, half of these players will be on injury reserve or either be taking multiple games off throughout the season outside of just maintenance than what they do now. Now, if you take the 90s players, especially a skilled player such as Magic, a Jordan or Bird, even Barkley, and you allow them to play by 90s rules in this game, man, Jordan's going to average 45 points. And people don't realize how good of an athlete Jordan was. I just reported that Jordan ran a 4.40, had a 48-inch vertical, and if those numbers alone are great enough to get you as the number one wide receiver on the NFL team.
Facts.
So this guy wasn't just a good athlete. He was a great athlete.
Yeah.
But then you look at a guy like LeBron, who's 6'8", 260, and this guy can do it all. Phenomenal athlete. Can't really compare the two different eras. Physically wise, yeah, LeBron had the stature, the build. Yeah, he got it. I got that. But the biggest difference between the two is mentality. This new age, they quit real quick. They don't have that same. And I'm gonna call out Kevin Durant. He got whooped by the Warriors, and then he went and joined them. That's something that he can never live down. These players believe nowadays, I'm not, man, look, I can't beat you, dog. I can't beat you. Let's join together and go jump on them. That's like, it's like you get beat up at school by a dude, man. You couldn't beat him up. So you go get your brother. Let's go jump him. Let's jump him. Bruh, come on now. I know the game is different. I got it. I understand the game is different. But once again, you can't compare eras because these guys will never play against one another. Now, what Gilbert Arenas referenced was Grant Hill at a young age going against Jordan and Pippen. He really needs to look at that entire clip to show you how Pippen done Grant Hill. how Jordan himself locked him down all but 3 games when they played against each other that season. That's what he didn't tell you. I watched all of the games. In one game, Grant Hill had 4 points, 8 turnovers, and 5 rebounds, and fouled out in the third quarter, all while guarding Scottie Pippen. So you telling me that Scottie Pippen couldn't lock him down? You supposed to be a professional basketball player, remember? And Gilbert Arenas didn't play no defense, so he can never tell me about somebody defensive abilities. So that dude didn't play no defense. Real talk.
What you think, Willis?
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with you can't compare errors at all. But what I'm gonna have to disagree with is starting with the 6th, 7th, 8th man on the bench, and nowadays just is purely bigger, faster, stronger than some of the 2nd, 3rd, off of just pure athleticism. Pure athleticism, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger now. That's just the way it is. Now, what we always point out, and I say that because when we have these debates, we always talk about the superstars. So yeah, Jordan can hang, Magic can hang, Kareem can hang, Wilt can hang, Bill Russell can hang. We're talking about anomalies. Go farther down that bench. They not hanging with these cats today. And I feel like that's more so what Gilbert Arenas is saying. Once you get past the starting lineup, then what you gonna do?
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Because I was looking at that. The superstars are the superstars, man. Those are the guys who run the
they can play in any era.
Yeah, they play in any era. But that below there, I don't know, bro. I don't see a 3rd and 4th man from 1980 hanging with these guys today, man. There's just one technology. These guys have been trained better. Nutrition has improved. It's just the science is so much better. These guys are in way better condition, and there's way more knowledge than back in the day. So it's not, it's not a knock on anybody from back in the day. It's just technology, bro. These kids like little robots, man. They go in and they specialize. One thing I do notice though, I feel like players back in the day didn't get as hurt as much as kids do now. You see like guys like Anthony Davis, Zion Williams. These guys are explosive and big and strong, but I think the specializing hurts because now these kids just play one sport for like they don't play other sports. And when you play multiple sports, man, it kind of prevents you from getting injured as much as you use different muscles. So I think that kind of hurts. Just from being in the coaching world, I see that a lot, man. These guys tell kids, hey, just play basketball your whole life and nothing else. And then these kids end up hurt. So,
But another part I really agree with is the mentality part. That's the whole I can't get in somebody's head and I can't teach you how to be tough.
Right.
So, what I mean? Yeah, back in the day, it's totally different mentality. Like dog eat dog. Like I'm staying on this team if I gotta scrap, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that dog is something that comes from, these kids have a lot easier, man. The times are easier. Harder times, man, make tougher men. I've always learned and believe, and then tougher men end up, they make things easier, and then you make softer men, and softer men make harder times. And that's what the saying goes, and it's like a little cycle that goes through. I noticed that with just coaching kids and stuff right now. It's a little different, man. They're more sensitive. Everybody gets a trophy mentality. So it's just our society's kind of made a lot of the kids, and it's trickled down to the athletes. It made them a little bit softer, man. That's what I've noticed. They don't like to compete as much as we did.
That's true. I mean, and all of us are in the military, and I can tell you it's a different brand of soldier.
That's
soldiers right. that I interacted with, especially later on in my career, and they couldn't. Both of us had First Sergeant Janicki.
Yeah.
Janicki was a cool dude, but Janicki, hey man, he snap off, and he quick to cuss you out. I mean, quick to cuss you out. The whole formation. You can't do that now. You can't make it, bro. You cuss out. IG is knocking at the front door.
But is that stress? I never saw one, but was that stress card thing real? Was that ever a real thing?
It was the real thing, but it was more towards basic training, and really with the Marine Corps, dealing with the Marine Corps. But no, Knox said something that was probably the thing that really drives home a point when it comes to these specialized athletes. Nowadays, kids, once a kid demonstrates a skill set or a talent to do a particular sport well, he or she is no longer going to play other sports. They're going to focus on that one sport, and they put stress on those muscle groups so much so that I know a kid that was 13 years old that had Tommy John surgery.
Right.
It was preventive maintenance. They had it for preventive maintenance. I know young ladies like I know a young lady who's a softball superstar. She's already had her ACLs repaired for preventive maintenance.
Yeah,
I've heard that, and it was the craziest thing. My best friend from high school, son, he's on that baseball path to be the man. Like you can see it happening. And he told me something that was crazy that a coach told him. He said, "Yeah, it ain't a matter if your elbow gonna blow. It's just a matter of when. So sometimes they just do it just to get it out the way.
Yeah,
but once you do it, it ain't gonna happen again. It's real hard for it to happen again."
Yeah, it's crazy. Man, let that kid run some track, man. Let the kid play basketball for a season.
Bro, I encourage my son is a 6'5", 220-pound first baseman and third baseman. He's a D1 prospect. This guy is legit. He hits 450-foot dingers all over the field. But he plays football too. He plays basketball too. He's gonna do shot put this year in track and field. I encourage him to do so, because I want him to be a well-rounded athlete. Baseball comes natural to him. The kid's gifted. He didn't get it from me. I wasn't a baseball player. But the kid gets it. And then I hear, first of all, when it comes to these sports, the amount of money that's invested in these kids, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm looking like LeBron James taking his kids have a natural athletic ability, but he's putting millions into them to get them to the next level. I would do the same thing if I had those resources. Don't ever get twisted. But the average parent can't, and it's really affecting how these kids are developing. Knox, you coach, you know what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons, man. When you look at baseball, you don't see a lot of black kids in baseball like that.
It's the lonely sport.
They got priced out, and that's a great sport, man. We used to dominate baseball, man, but you get priced out. It's expensive, man. Travel ball.
What's more expensive, hockey or baseball?
Baseball.
Baseball is. I can't speak on hockey.
15,
I don't know.
$15K.
I'm not sure about hockey, but I know baseball is expensive, man. When you get deep into it. So,
last two years, baseball alone, $15,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're a young kid in the hood, man. And plus kids don't watch baseball like that anymore because attention spans are short. And baseball, if you watch baseball, it's slow. It's not like basketball's alley-oops is fast-paced, football fast paced. I talk to kids about baseball. They're like, "Oh, coach, that's boring. I don't want to play that." Because I see kids like, "Damn, you'd be a great baseball athlete." Nah, it's boring.
One thing I've done, and I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. One thing I've done, I've started sponsoring more youth with baseball, especially youth that you can tell a kid ain't into football after the first day with pads on. First time they get, hey man, listen. I know your daddy wants you out here because your daddy was a superstar in high school, but this ain't the sport for you. I got a homie that coached football, and he always get, hey man, dude fast, man. He got good hand-eye coordination, man. He may need to come in the baseball field. And I'm on the board for our league down here in my hometown, so I always, hey man, send them my way. Let's see what we can do. And we got a couple that have made it out of our league onto other leagues, but man, baseball, the kid out in New York, what's his name? Judge, $390 million to hit home runs. Guaranteed.
You can play baseball forever. You play baseball, you be in your 50s playing baseball.
$390 million to hit a baseball. I want you to think about that. That's not an NFL contract remotely close to it.
Yeah, and those are guaranteed contracts.
Guaranteed cash money.
You
No
get
matter
cut,
what, he
you
get paid
get
that money.
NFL, you short. Looking burgers.
Bobby Bonilla still getting paid by the Mets.
No, his last year was his last year.
Yeah, last year was the last. It was a celebration of his last year. He got paid for how many years afterwards?
Like 20, 25.
Like 25 years. Crazy.
A million.
Hey, but that comes from having a good agent too, though. That dude had a hell of an agent. Yeah.
But I think we all in agreement, in somewhat agreement when it comes to this topic about the older age players being the guard to newer players. Knox, you said it best. Technology, knowledge, self-care has come a long way to where these players now, the longevity, the way they take care of their bodies, is sure one. And then on top of that, like what it said, bigger, faster, stronger. These players are bigger, faster, stronger. Except for the outliers, except for the superstar, bigger, faster, stronger. But the mentality is one of the keys. They ain't got it.
Yeah, facts. Oh shoot! Hey, well, look. So we about running out of time here. We was on for a little quick ambush, man. So it's always good to get the boys on. Okay, hey, we're gonna try to keep it rolling. We got to try to keep rolling. Hit it next week. Talk about something different, maybe something the same. Who knows, right? All right,
sure.
But so before we get out of here, what are you guys' final thoughts and words of wisdom for the week coming up here? We go with you, Bailey. Go ahead, hit it.
And I tell people all the time when I speak, whatever engagement I'm speaking at, I tell people this: remember, you are a direct reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you spend time with a bunch of knucklehead, you are a knucklehead. If you spend time with a bunch of successful people, you will seek success.
Okay. All right, Willis, what you got, bro?
To be honest, I'm not gonna be nowhere near as deep as he just was.
He stepped into it, didn't he?
I'm gonna say this. Remember this. Quit judging people because we actually know y'all in real life.
Okay.
That's deep.
That's deep. Yeah, facts. All right, y'all. Hey, so man, mine is pretty simple, man. The world works way better when you mind your own business and take care of everything in your own backyard, and don't be looking at everybody else trying to, follow behind all these trends, man. Take care of you and yours, and the world will be a better place. I take care of me and mine, it all comes together. All right.
Yeah.
It's stressful that way. See a lot of that out here. All right, y'all. All right, man. Always a pleasure, brothers.
No doubt.
All right. So next time, if you find yourself watching this, hit us up. When you see the ambush happen, go ahead and log in. And take part, man. Take part. And it's all good here. So we're going to, as part of the Good Guy Experience brand, okay, we want to wish you guys a great week. All right, a great week, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.
All right, till next time, bro.
Peace.